Hello everyone, this is Arib and I'm starting this new channel today, uh, Arib's Tech Take. On this channel I will be sharing my insights, reviews about some devices. Uh, my main focus in the start would be on the phones. Today I have got a brand new Google Pixel 10 Pro XL, the 256 gigabytes model, in moonstone color. I really liked this color when I saw the lineup, and I knew that if I'm going to get the phone, this will be the color I'm going to go for. So we will start with unboxing the phone first of all. So we have got a phone. We'll open that first, and then we will have a look through what's in the box. Here we have the Pixel 10 Pro XL in the box. We'll take this out first of all and open it up. Now, once I've opened it, the first initial thoughts are that it looks very similar to Pixel 9 Pro XL from last year, and it's because it is actually exactly the same. The sides are aluminium. We've got two speakers at the bottom. The color looks really beautiful, I'll be honest. The SIM card tray is located on the top this time. We will start the phone, and while it boots up, we will check what do we have in the box. Now, in the box, as we can see, we only get this charging cable, USB-C to C, and there is a warranty and support booklet. Along with that, there is a SIM card pin, and there is this new leaflet which I've not really seen before in any of the devices. Overall energy rating is B. The device is IP68. Seems like it's pretty good for repairability as well. We will know as more people get their hands on it, that how repairable it is. For now, we will just get to the device. Start of the screen, we can see it's a slightly different splash screen, and one thing which I can't really ignore is that they have got the text going on just like the Apple. So when you start setting up an iPhone, it's very similar experience here. So you get the option to select the language first of all, obviously, and you can use your old device, whether it's an old Pixel or any other Android device, or an iPhone as well. However, I'm gonna go ahead and just set it up without any device today. First things, it's asking for connecting to a Wi-Fi. So let's go through and to do their checks, sending the information across and checking the network info. Right after that, it will ask who do you want to set up the phone for, whether it's for a child or yourself. You can set that up. Once you've selected that option, it will go further, ask you to connect to a mobile network. Now, after that, it will ask to set up the fingerprint. It's just so that you can access the device using the biometrics. I like to set all of them up at this stage, but just for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go ahead with and complete one of the finger, follow the instructions as shown on the screen. Once it's been set up, it also gives us the option to set up the face unlock. Now you can skip it if you don't want to, but I prefer to have the face unlock option, especially on the Pixels, because it is really useful as you can access the banking apps as well just using the face unlock. So definitely something I would recommend to set up. Now, after that, you will get the option to copy your apps and data either from the backup or another phone. I'm going to skip that for now, but if you want and you have some backup, you can certainly use that. I will just have to agree to their terms and conditions, and once I've gone through that page, it shows us the information about Gemini itself. The new personal assistant, it has replaced Google Assistant. I will set that up and complete it. Then it gives us the option for other AI related apps.
You don't have to set everything up if you don't want to, but I would just set these up for now and then we can always close them later.
We have also got the magic queue here, which is one of the features I'm really looking forward to. It does look like really smart use of AI, and this is something which I would really like to see in more phones and more companies to adopt as well.
After that, there are where you can set up the different things like car crash detection. Uh, there's satellite SOS as well. I believe it is available in UK as well. We will know once we have got the device set up. You can also select all the different options here now, which it shows on the screen. Things like instant translation, now play, always on display if you would like to change the text size and things like that. So I always set most of these things up at this stage. I'll quickly do that and then we will go forward. And once we have got all of that completed, it shows us that how to get to the home page. Rather than using three button navigation, it uses the gesture navigation by default, which will be quite similar to what iPhone users are used to. So shouldn't feel too different. And obviously, users on Pixel also have this. Now, if someone still prefers the three navigation button, it can always be changed in the system settings. Uh, and as everything's loaded up and you can see there's not a lot of apps pre-installed here, just some basic Google apps which almost everyone uses. And because I selected some of them during the setup process, it's just installing all of those now. And one of the first things I would do when I get the phone is always go into the Play Store. I'll go back in the start, go to the profile, manage apps, and check for the updates available. That is quite necessary because this ensures that we're updating everything as it's needed. I have also charged the phone fully, and I wanted to show a few screens here. So firstly, if I look at the camera, it gives you this splash screen, shows you all the option. If you want to turn something off, you can turn them on. Shows all the details. This new feature 100x ProRes zoom. I'm gonna leave everything on for the time being, and then the layout does seem a little bit different.
Here we also have an update available, which I believe should update the phone to Material Expressive. It's 579 MB, which I will install.
So I've got my phone set up a bit here. I've installed quite a few apps, logged into the accounts where I needed to, and I charged it fully when I got it and before I updated everything. And as you can see, we are on about 20% now after the whole day, which I don't think is bad considering I have loads of apps. I'll show you in a moment. So I've got a long list of apps going on here, and that's the reason it took me quite some time, and then obviously it takes a hit on the battery. Now if we have a look at battery stats, it should show us what was the usage like. So as we can see, I charged it around at 2 p.m. It gave me around screen time of 4 hours and 23 minutes out of the box.
And I would also like to show you guys the speed test quickly to show you the Wi-Fi performance on the new Tensor G5 chip. Um, I had a couple of issues in the morning where the speeds were a bit low, but now it seems to be working quite better. I'm getting the download speeds more than what I expect, and the upload is on a bit lower side, but it's still pretty good enough. It's better than other devices which are running on Wi-Fi 6, obviously. Now, one other feature I want to show you guys is this new one with Pixel 10 series is the always on display wallpaper. Uh, This feature was introduced previously with the iPhone 14, and then Samsung adopted it. You can see the Samsung here with the same feature on, and iPhone 14 Pro as well. So here we've got all three devices side by side with their implementation of the always on display wallpaper. Thank you for watching this video today, guys. I will see you in the next one. I will be posting a full review. Please comment if you would like to see something specific.